whether I'm right.
Wrongly accused of bribing a radio producer, a case she won, Dorothy, in defense of her reputation, was to immerse herself over the next 25 years in a series of legal battles with the media.
I have gone through $500,000 in counsel and lawyers' fees.
Much of Dorothy's anger is channeled towards the owner of a tabloid paper that published purportedly, in her own words, the story of her marriage breakup to Roger Moore.
When the News of the World published When Love Turned Sour, that was the beginning of the end of me, because the vendetta that I was subjected to after that, and I hold Rupert Murdoch entirely responsible for it.
She always defended herself, and she gave a performance like you would have seen in the London Palladium, and she would always look round. If she got a good point, she would look round for your approval, and the shoulders were back, and she was just in full flight. Dot loved the fight. She loved being involved in there and winning.
The litigation did form, I would think, did a lot of harm, because she was trying to prove a point, not only to herself, but to the public at large. And obviously, court cases cost an awful lot of money. And if you don't win the first one, then you're financially in trouble. And she had several go wrong on the trot.
Dot would be terrified in court, but you would never ever know. Only the fact that I'd driven her to the court and seen the state she was in the car with nerves, just terrified how the outcome could go, because it could go one way or the other. You think you've got a strong case and you get in there and it falls apart.
What do you think it's like when you're in court and you've been in the cells and things? How do you think that's going to turn out? Fear, yes.
As well as all her other troubles, Dorothy had even greater tragedies to face.
The house was it was a show place. And I woke up and everything was black before me, and I rubbed my eyes. I thought there was something bad. Anyway, I went down the stairs and I fell through the slats. And I was black and blue from here to there, because I was caught up in the slat. And with this, I got back to the door that led out to the back, and they were with a big log forcing it. And I just got out of the way, because if that log had hit me, I'd have had it. I ran in for my dogs to see where they were. I couldn't see for smoke, and they ran after me.
The fire at Bexley affected her very badly. One of her dogs, it was a poodle, a standard poodle, was burnt to death, and she was devastated. And in fact, she could have easily have lost her own life because of the smoke. Somebody carried her out into the fresh air, and she was resuscitated.
Dorothy, I know, was absolutely heartbroken when Bexley caught fire. It was a wonderful place, and so many times there were show business parties that she gave, and if you were anybody in show business, anybody she liked, you were there, and her generosity was incredible.
Fortunately, my jewelry was in the safe, and I knew where that safe was.
In dramatic fashion, Dorothy fled the fire, clutching only a casket containing her jewels and 400 love letters from Roger Moore.
When I saw this house I'd bought and made into an absolute showplace, what do you think if we saw this going up in flames? And you're sitting on the wall outside with a mask on you, breathing. What would you have done? I didn't want to live anymore.
The loss of her home and ongoing legal battles were all taking their toll. Although she continued to appear on stage, the occasions that she did so were to grow fewer and fewer, until there were none.
When you get to the top of the bill, there is nowhere else to go.
After their days when their singing career is finished and the dancing is finished, and what do they do in their lives?
When you're a very big star, you have a lot of power. But I think power should be used for the benefit of the profession, not to destroy it.
In my heyday, young men wrote to me. Everybody seemed to have time to devote to me. Everyone I saw all swore they knew me.
She'll always be remembered for the songs that she sang. And I hope to God we can go on remembering him for a long time yet.
The court cases brought financial ruin. No longer able to pay her costs, she was evicted from her new Thameside home at Bray. A cycle that was to be repeated over and over in the following 10 years.
I have moved 9 times in lorries and my personal clothes, everything.
Framed citations hang on every wall. I've got a...
Now you think I'm sitting in a room, one room, and I was in this one room for about 2 months.
I thought the world belonged to me, and so you see, if I never sing another song.
I've lost everything. My house I paid for cash, my 8 horses, my personal wardrobe, everything. I was out in the street with one case. Now you just imagine now, I'm like a bloody beggar going everywhere. Well, now these coats, I managed to save from my house in North Wing, Fishery Road. I bought this in England, and I only wore it 4 times before they would have taken it all. They took everything else, but these I had to thieve out of my own house at night. Would you believe it? Nobody knows what I've been through. That one I only had on 4. Can you imagine the price of that? And I wore that 4 times. So that is one of my, that's a super outfit, that.
Well, a lot of people don't know she's there because she doesn't go out much. And you get the regular people come in and ask, how's Dorothy? And when you go out, people come on to you and say, Esme, how's Dorothy?
I am her best customer, really. I buy my food from her, you know, and things like that. Apart from which, she's a great person. I say, Ez, will you come down, and so on, so on.
We'd sit down and she'd tell me about the stories out in Hollywood, and very glamorous. All the lovely people she'd met and enjoyed the company. Wonderful.
We've had our fights, but I dearly love her, and she loves me.
Well, everybody loves Dorothy. She's something different. She's nice. She's all right. Give people a lot of pleasure. But I wish she'd go out, because she spends a lot of time in that house.
I remember when I was a little girl, my dad took me to the circus.
When you've been accused of so much, I can't face the world, because they only believe what they read. Don't you understand?
Beautiful lady in pink tights flew high.
She'd ring me up and said, Ez, put the television on. Roger's on. And she'd say something. She said something about his toupee. And gosh, I put it on and I put it off straight away because it upset me. I thought, oh, because it's like if I know him.
Is that all it is to the circus?
You know, it's a number of years of a lot of fun.
Is that
We shared a lot of very good friends. Some I still see.
if that's all there is, my
We had a very good life.
Then let's keep dancing.
Yes, we talk about him a lot. She loves him very much. And I think he loves her too. He saw something special in Dorothy which he hadn't seen before. It's like that with blondes, you know.
If that's all there is.
All right, I'll ask you the question. If it had happened to you, how would you feel? I have great pride. I've had thousands follow me. Out down in Curtail, where they're marvelous. How can I go out with everything bad that's been written about me and not true? You tell me how you could do it, how you could face people. But when I'm reliving it now, what do you think it's like when I put my head on the pillow at night? What do you think it's like? My epitaph would be she'd spit in the devil's eye before she'd lick our wounds and cry. And I would. I know what you must be saying to yourselves. If that's the way she feels about it, why doesn't she just end it all? Oh, no, not me. I'm not ready yet for that final disappointment. For I know just as well as I'm standing here talking to you, when that final moment comes and I'm breathing my last breath, I'll be saying to myself, is that all? Is that all there is to dying? Is that all there is? Is that all there is? If that's all there is, my friend, then let's keep dancing. Let's bring out the booze and let's have ourselves a ball. If that's all there is.